just like that, Nogi manages to win the negotiations, I mean, if you can call them that, and get Shen to admit to having a Kengan match. Now, I have seen it float around in the community, in the Kengan community, that there might be a tournament, but it doesn't really seem like it. I think this is talking about a single match against Shen. Now, we might have the Champions Tournament before the match with Shen, but it seems as though this match is separate from the Champions Tournament itself. And so I think it will either happen after the Champions Tournament or before. I think it's probably going to be before though, considering the flow of the situation. But let's just get into the chapter itself, which starts off with, of course, Nogi stating his terms and Shen being completely fine with it actually. It's only really Yan who doesn't want Shen to fight, and it does make sense. Yan is trying to take advantage of the current situation, since the Kengan Association, after seeing what Shen is capable of, are more than likely going to fear Shen. And so Yan can leverage that, as well as Lohan, because they both try to leverage that and just get the Kengan Association to do what they want them to do. And you can sort of see them trying to do that, although I do think it's kind of funny how they go from being goofy in 1 second with Shen and trying to calm him down, and they try to act like tough guys the very next second. It kind of does remind me of how Sandrovich does write his antagonists, in which rarely are they just like straight up evil. And usually the straight up evil characters aren't as good, at least in my opinion. But as they're trying to leverage the entire situation, Nogi pulls off something I don't think anyone expected. And that is Hanafusa. Hanafusa came in. I was like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna be the person who's going to fight Shen? I was like, part of me was like, what is this, Sandro? You better... Oh man, I'm expecting Kuroki or someone, you bringing out Hanafusa. What is this? But there was actually a clutch play here, and that is the fact that it seems like Hanafusa has some sort of virus. Nogi probably planned this well in advance, which is props to Nogi, honestly, because he managed to create the conditions for the negotiations to go through. Even though, if you pay attention, this isn't actually a threat to Shen, despite the fact that it's a virus. In fact, Nogi's describing like, hey look, if the virus spreads, everyone here is dead. And I'm assuming the virus activates once when Hanafusa, I don't know, presses a button, or when he dies or something. But it's something that Hanafusa is capable of activating at will, basically. And while he's describing this, Shen just accepts, Shen Wulong, look at that. Shen Wulong actually accepts those terms. But the reason he accepts them is because he's thinking Yan is probably gonna die. And that sort of gives us a perspective here. That gives us an interesting perspective in that, viruses aren't really a threat to Shen himself, but they are a threat to his subordinates like Yan and Lohan, you could say. And with that, it brings us to the later half of the video, or the chapter, where Shen, Wulong, and Joji meet up and basically confronting each other, because Joji heard everything, which means he knows, who's this? Wulong is the connector. I wonder if he knows his name is Shen Wulong. I think he still calls him Jackie. And Shen doesn't actually correct him or anything, which makes me wonder, is Jackie's Shen real name, I guess, or is he somehow related to that name? I'm not too sure at this point, although it did seem like he just made it up, actually. So I wonder why Wulong isn't actually correcting Joe when it comes to his name. But it comes to what might be the saddest moment, the saddest breakup in the series, and that is when Shen asks, hey look Joe, now that you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight me and take me down? And Joe is like, nah, he won't, because Wulong is basically his drinking buddy. And Shen says that, well, he might have actually won if he actually challenged him because he doesn't want to actually kill or, punch Joji. I mean, I'm saying Joji. Yeah, it is Joji. But to me, that seems kind of odd because we've seen Wulong kill someone who he would deem his friend. We've seen it before in the Mukaku flashback. So I think even if that happened, I think Shen would have killed him, even though it might have been a bit more emotional. I just don't buy that Shen would have let Joji win. But with that, it ends right there. And so we'll see what happens in the next few chapters, who the Kengan Association is going to pick. I might do a video on that, a quick one. But yeah, that's it. That was the actual chapter. Like, sub, all that fun stuff. Until next time, take it easy.